Welcome, everybody, to Season 1, Week 7 of the Breachers VRML. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, Martini, and we are joining in for a half game at this point, Martini. I don't even know. I don't know.
Interesting game. I mean, look at BrainStormers. They have only 2 rostered players. I had to look it up. Dudster is actually a league sub versus I think 4 players on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but definitely
They had
a lot of technicalities going on, right?
They had 3 rostered players, then they lost one to a disconnect, and then they had where it's well, it's just kind of the unfortunate reality that apparently this series is right now, and we'll do our best to make it entertaining, but no guarantees with 3 bots on the playing field. It's gonna just kind of be a slog, and frankly, if they can't field a team by map 2 or 3, Martini, we may just save ourselves some time and energy. But either way, they do seemingly have their reconnect in, so it's a technical 3 rostered players with 1 sub on the BrainStormers side, and a kill apiece for each team as Works catches Mr. Menalga down long range. Salem finds another kill through the hole, and 3v3 now, real players versus real players unfolding for the last bit of round 1.
Yeah, not looking too good though for Ice Cream Truck as they have. Never mind, they just knocked out one of the players, even though they have, I think, 9 held to their name, but doesn't matter, they get refragged there. Now coming down to a 2v2 between these 2 teams, and definitely a lot of funky gameplay, especially coming into this first map. I'm hoping things get ironed out, and we'll see if it kind of gets a little bit better.
Oh! Dr. Turk catches a nice flank in the fight in the open hole. It doesn't necessarily go the way of the Ice squad. A nice crouch shot there from Flighty will catch the final kill, and BrainStormers will go up 1-0. We didn't have much time for an intro because the players jumped right into the action as well. But here we are, Martini, sort of a mid-range team battling out here, silver and bronze, technically, as we pull up that match page quickly and take a quick look at the active ranks and current win-loss ratios of both teams. Ice Cream Truck 1-0-1, technically undefeated, a new team to this season, as is BrainStormers. But both squads kind of bring a bit of experience to the table with their rosters.
Yeah, I know a lot of people tend to just look at the games played or even how many seasons played by a specific team, but you got to remember, even in like VRML, we're still Season 1. There's a lot of teams disbanding, recreating, and doing all sorts of different things. And I think that's what we're seeing on both of these teams, just players with a variety of experience from either preseason or even the current season, where they pulled out of different teams. So I definitely will say, while these both are newer-ish teams, don't expect to see players that don't know what they're doing, right? They definitely have some experience behind their belt, and I think we'll definitely see some of this coming up. I mean, Ice Cream Truck, I saw them the other day and I was casting them, and they actually did pretty solid against a team, I think it was yesterday, that had a fair amount of experience, I think in preseason and this season.
We do have another joining the lobby. Hopefully they're on the right team, as Nobro will be pushing with the entirety of this Ice squad set up at A site. Shots coming into the backside towards Flighty and not connecting, and now the whole team is here on A, and the whole team's getting peppered by Dudester with the rifle in hand. There's 4 kills. Can they make it the full ace as they swing? They can. All 5 for Dudester to take BrainStormers up 2-0.
That was crazy. I mean, I thought it really was going to swing towards Ice Cream Truck. They had a really good, solid startup, and they knocked down, I think, 2 players on BrainStormers' side. But Dudester coming in with a crazy clutch, and even Ace there, I think. I wasn't quite sure if I saw him kill everybody. But if so, great Ace there, especially on cast. I'm only at map 2 maps in. So I think we're definitely on track to see some interesting gameplay from these teams today. But we'll see.
It's shaken up. It's an interesting start, and we only really need one more player to fill this lobby full. Very much these teams tapping into the reserve pool this afternoon, an unfortunate reality. And it makes me wonder, they have they obviously were anticipating this matchup this afternoon, a very highly voted on matchup. So I'm assuming the fans and the team wanted this game to be cast. And usually that's the case. That, you want that because you're going to be putting your best foot forward that afternoon. You know you're going to bring the full squad. So maybe we'll see these teams slowly sort of piece themselves together over the course of this first map. Maybe it's just players getting home from work. And in some cases, who knows what the situation is. So, but we may eventually get a full 5v5. But every round for now, at least, is the Ice Cream Truck team going in at advantage with a bot on the offensive side, bot Timo there on BrainStormers. So for them to be winning 2-0 is quite impressive.
I mean, it goes to show that you can't discount bots, especially when the bot is on the defending side. If I were to have a bot, I'd rather be a team that's defending. I'll say that because some of the bots coming in on the attacking side, they just run all the way in.
Oh, yeah.
At least on the defensive side, they do anchor on the side and provide some utility. Definitely not a full player's utility. Never mind. No, bro. Knocking down Salem in a great entrance right now from Ice into A, but they are getting shots back from BrainStormers himself. And I don't know. I mean, look at the bot, Timo. They're still alive coming into this round.
1 of 3 left alive as Dr. Turt and the Ice Cream Truck team work into B site. Mr. Minalga is there in server room, and they don't take shots until it's too late as YMQI swings the short corner, finds some good headshots with that RCP, and it's Dudester alone and dead. And now Bot Timo on the retake, very unlikely to catch a 4-piece, and this could be the first round for Ice Cream Truck in the books.
I mean, you never know. You never know, but we know. You never, especially when they have the laser on. I wish they can adjust. I think.
Is Timo echoing right now? It looks like the bot's gone to the bottom floor and is holding the RCP for the squad.
Yep, go for a save round. Obviously, that's the way to play as a bot in this game. That's my only complaint. I think if the bots would take their lasers off, they'd actually be a little bit better, because then you wouldn't expect them, right? Anyways, that does end up going to Ice Cream Truck, their first win coming into this first half. And if I'm on BrainStormers, I'm just hoping for that 5th player to come in. Because while they put up a solid fight, I mean, I don't really count round 1. That one was just a funky round altogether. Everyone was just coming in. And now Ice Cream Truck, they're at their full potential, right? They have all 5 players in. Unless BrainStormers really locks down and tries their best to hold out until that 5th player comes in, they might be surrendering some rounds that aren't really needed. If I don't know what happened, maybe scheduling conflicts or something came up, but
it's tough.
Anything, right?
You gotta get yourself the Helga Esports Manager bot, Martini. That will solve the issues. That'll help with your weekly scheduling of scrims and matches, and you can get that first month free by joining the Discord. We got to fit those sponsor plugs in when we can. It's definitely a moment where it could save the day, because these teams have full rosters. They've got 6-7 players on their squad, so they should be able to tap into that deep roster, get that extra bit of availability. But scheduling is not an easy task. I don't put it past any captain to herd the cats of a squad and get them to all be online at the same time. That's an achievement in and of itself for that to happen every game. But hey, either way, we've got a matchup here this afternoon right now between BrainStormers and Ice Cream Truck, and then another one after this between some top-tier teams where we can expect that preparation and that level of focus to come in from I believe it's... Oh gosh, a Periphery and a turn Infinity, yes.
Yeah, that should be a pretty good lineup. I mean, considering how close they are with each other on the ladder, it should be some really cool stuff. And potentially Periphery trying to enter into the top master ranks, which would be great to watch,
Indeed. These teams fighting more in the middle of the ladder as Dr. Turt's working through a smoke, and A site's wide open. In comes the push from Nobro. They'll find 2 as they try to push out from B, and now as the plant comes down on A site, it's this defense on B that has to retake. YMQI finds 1. The other goes down by Paladin through the center, and Ice Cream Truck come barreling back with a little bit of force. All 5 alive, carrying rifles through to the next round. Economy completely in their control, and in comparison, you see the brainstorming team right now not able to full buy in. only going to be able to really partial buy here and then full buy round 6, whereas there's just so much security in the ice cream truck economy right now that they can do whatever they want for the next 2 rounds and potentially push this 4-2 on offense on factory. I think that's pretty ideal.
I know it'll be interesting to see what BrainStormers can try to attempt to do, especially coming on into that second half. But I mean, at this point, I think Ice Cream Truck is just maintaining such good momentum, because I don't know if you saw the last round, they had 5 players up, and I always say having 5 players up showcases that you kind of not just that you won the round, but you dominated the round. The fact that you had so many players up and no one can knock them down showcases that either there's a huge skill difference here, or maybe the momentum is just really running through right now, and I think that's what's happening. I mean, they got 5 players up, momentum's on their side, economy's on their side. BrainStormers gonna have to do something pretty soon to tie it up, otherwise this might swing really hard towards Ice Cream Truck's side, especially when they come into their defending half, which is going to favor them on factory, right?
A very fast entry coming in, and yeah, we'll see if they can get more of these offensive rounds, because I do agree it's definitely going to put them in a very good spot when we swap sides in just a couple of rounds from now. In comes the entry. Dr. Turd opens things up with the first kill. YMQI on the short corner finds another. Mr. Minalga with the Cyclone, able to catch a couple of headshots and get down a rifle. They want to pick that rifle up, but it's quickly defended. Paladin and Nobro are here and fending off the likes of Dudester, and Mr. Minalga will go down. And another pretty dominant round, Martini, from Ice Cream Truck. 4 alive this time. And we can look at that scoreboard and see that it's definitely started to tilt into the favor of Ice Cream Truck. They really started strong on the BrainStormers end with those first 2 rounds, the pistol round and that big multi-rifle kill from Dudester in round 2. That was a really great job utilizing their economic advantage. But since then, it's been 3 very clean rounds by Ice Cream Truck, and now a chance for BrainStormers to put this at a clean tie as they're able to full buy here, because that was practically an eco round last round from them.
I know we're seeing some rough stuff from BrainStormers. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out. I mean, I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I think someone said that there's no 5th coming. I don't know if they're actually on the team, but I mean, when I hear someone say that, I'm worried, right?
Yeah.
BrainStormers, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but Ice Cream Truck, at this point, I'm a betting man on them, and I think they might be able to hold this down all the way till the end. And I don't know if it still keeps going this way and they can't get a 5th by map 2. We're talking about Ice Cream Truck done in 2, right? But you know, I will say that that's all hypothetical. You never know what's gonna happen. Maybe they get some person that can come back from work right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. But BrainStormers is struggling right now. I think they're playing probably a lot more conservative, because I haven't seen them roaming as much as when I think Dudester had a slight roam flank that just worked out so well for BrainStormers on that second or third round.
They really got to, yeah. They really got to change those. We were just watching Timo there looking through the walls up to the 2nd floor. They got to adjust that from the bots. You could use that to your advantage to some degree.
Illegal wall hack. Yes. Illegal wall hack.
But Timo's here and dead very quickly, and so regardless of if the bot's able to see or not, it doesn't help their aim and ability to shoot. They'll go down quickly. The utility and smoke comes in. Down goes Salem over the top. The plant from Paladin coming through, and the retake now is required from the 2 remaining. Mr. Minalga and Flighty both trying to work their way in now. Where is Flighty? They're fighting at the window and catching a double kill.
Yeah, as you can see, there's still some life left in BrainStormers. It's not over. It's a 2v2. They got some back-to-back action, but the EMP's down. They're on the back heel. So they're going to need some really good push in here. And I mean, Dr. Turt's watching a really strong angle. And on top of that, I think Dr. Turt's been putting up some good numbers for Ice Cream Truck. So we'll have to see if they can make a good push here.
Here comes the peek out from Mr. Minalga. Great 1-2. Around goes Flighty, but they'll get quickly picked up by the other one watching that angle perfectly. They'll find the kill on from Paladin, and it's 4-2 into the hands of the Ice Cream Truck team. A good offensive start, and now it's time for BrainStormers to go on to the attack. Try and make something work with this 4-player roster and a bot that's ultimately just going to fling itself right at the offense. These bots on offense are much worse, like you said, than they are even less effective on offense. And so we'll have to see how that works out for the BrainStormers squad as we do swap sides, reset economy, and it is the ice cream truck's time to hold down at the fort.
At this point, the push has got to be on, like literally on point, so precise. Yep. Otherwise, I mean, you're asking 3 more rounds in the pocket for Ice. If they can get this one, maybe get a good couple buys in for round 2, and then bam, round 3 they got assault rifle rounds, and they're just kind of pushing through, right? I mean, that's what I'm expecting. If we see Ice win this, and maybe even the second round, they're just gonna push the momentum all the way through, and we might be seeing a pretty quick win coming in from Ice.
Indeed we may, as they open up hatch and are prepping for an A-site push. Dr. Turt just around the corner. So is half of the ice cream truck team, YMQI and Nobro, also out in this alleyway, and some windows opening up, drawing the attention of Nobro here, who may be looking for a fight. A static emitter is down, one of the very few pieces of utility that can get deployed in a round like this, but it is an effective piece of utility, deterring the vault over, and Nobro catches 1 kill, can't swing for a second. Mr. Managa will find that one. YMQI looks for a long-range battle with the pistol in hand, and so far it's even Steven for the BrainStormers squad, 4-4 here.
You know, interesting thing I'm seeing is actually a fair amount of Cyclones being used in this game. I'm so used to Spectrals being used. But anyways, looks like Works does knock down that bot finally, and Dr. Turt able to come back on that refrag with Dudester. But it's looking rough. I mean, BrainStormers down to 2 players. But anyways, I was talking earlier, like I'm seeing a lot of Cyclones on the battlefield, and I'm just not used to seeing that. I see Cyclones used occasionally, but it looks like these 2 teams consistently use Cyclones on both sides. So it's interesting to see people using other guns, right, while they're playing in competitive get matches.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the choice is for the top tier teams in just a couple of hours from now. That match starts 6:30 p.m. PST. That is roughly 2 hours from now, as the kill comes through on both sides, and the final one connects for the likes of Paladin, or YMQI, actually, with that Cyclone in hand, and it will be Ice Cream Truck up 5-2, taking that first pistol round. And meta be damned. I mean, I think I've seen some Cyclones I think I saw some Cyclone buys yesterday, which in that matchup that I tuned into with Gibular Bob, which was another high tier matchup. I think there was some Cyclone buys there too, and maybe it's really more the map than anything. You know, a map like Factory definitely has a lot of tight corners. Maybe even depending on where your objective is and where you're going to be defending, that top floor in particular does have some long range negotiation points. But if you're going to be defending inside and you know you're going to hold down that T spot or the hatch or the locker room, and maybe that Cyclone does have that more effective use in those closer quarters.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ship. It's one of the few maps where, you know, the Knut, right, the shotgun actually can be viable. I know most people obviously don't use it unless they're really trying to utilize it. But anyways, Nobro on the other side knocking out the bot. That bot is just aggressive, right? It runs in. And I wish they can adjust it, but also this game isn't meant to be used with bots, right? But it doesn't matter. Nobo tries to swing out and almost gets knocked down themselves. And it's looking kind of funky. I think BrainStormers right now is probably just trying to figure out where to push. And it looks like they get their first pick off on this round.
4v4 to open things up, and it's the full fighting force of BrainStormers here up against 3 Vezins on 2 Vezins and a Cadillo on defense. That's a lot of ability to fire through walls, to put out that pre-fire, and ultimately deter this team from advancing through. Fortunately, Dudester has been able to pick up the Cadillo, or not a Cadillo, a Oral off of the hands of YMQI, but up comes Dr. Turt. The Cadillo finds its first victim. A nade flies down, and it will find 2. Down go Dudester and Mr. Minalga, and all that's left of the BrainStormers squad is nobody. Dr. Turt makes cert of it with the Cadillo, the nades, a huge play coming in. that puts Ice Cream Truck up 6-2. And this Ice Cream Truck team, they are new to the league, and they've only had a couple of games in their pocket. When we look at the match history, they've won a game and tied their most recent one. But there's a lot of interest around how this team is playing, and I think it's because of maybe the roster that makes this team a roster that isn't a team filled with new players. I think their roster consists of actually team players from Rainfall and something like Cookie Truck or something like that. But it's a combination of two teams that do have experience playing, in some cases, in the preseason as well. And so there is a lot of experience coming in onto this Ice Cream Truck squad this afternoon that is ultimately delivering the 6-2 outcome. YMQI 10-5, Dr. Turt 9-3, Nobro 9-4. Some big KDs coming in there from the Ice Cream Truck squad.
Yeah, I mean, we can also see the confidence coming in from Ice Cream Truck. I know a team has experience when they're playing more confident, and not just confidence from being careless or even ignorant. They're doing it because they know what they're doing, and they see that they're obviously playing a really good game against BrainStormers and really kind of pushing that pressure onto them, right? So that's how I can tell, like, definitely tell they're not a totally new team. I mean, Dr. Turt again getting another shot off. I mean, it's on the bot, right? I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah. Here's a nice little defense shutdown, or an offensive shutdown, excuse me. Flighty catching Nobro out on this upper floor is very big. It enables them to get control of the hatch, open that up, take down their control to the stairs on the bottom objective, on the middle objective floor. And, we'll see if the trio can make something happen on A site up against the 4 remaining Ice Cream Truck defenders, with YMQI on the hunt for anyone dangling on the windows or at the windows there as they peek their head outside of the building area and are identified by the team. And so really, again, very aggressive and, like you said, confident plays coming in from Ice Cream Truck.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think they know they got it. It's match point. It's 6-2. Something's got to happen for BrainStormers for some crazy clutch up. Otherwise, we're probably going to see some roaming coming in right now. Oh, never mind. Flighty shuts down the roamer there. And it looks like they're going to continue their push onto A.
Nade tossed in there. It doesn't hit anyone on the BrainStormers squad as Deucer is able to run down the stairs. Flighty at almost no HP does get that health syringe, and will inject that in to help them push back up to near full health. And so it is a healthy brainstorming squad going up against a healthy Ice Cream Truck squad as Works flies around to catch one, can't get the double, and now the EMP plant coming down with Dr. Turt rotating in from the hatch. This could be devastating, and it looks like Managa checks that it could be a possibility, but Dudester was not ready for someone to drop down behind them, and it will be Ice Cream Truck clutching in the final round. The EMP defuse coming through from Dr. Turt, and the map into the hands of Ice Cream Truck to kick things off in this series.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else I can say. Just a rough game from BrainStormers, but I'm hoping they can kind of take some time. Maybe they can even take that 10-minute break, try to hope and get their 5th player in. Otherwise, if their 5th player's out, they might just push us all the way through and try to get this done out in 2. But hey, we don't know what's going to happen. BrainStormers can do some crazy stuff, and it really depends on the next map choice. I know people are always saying, gotta buy, it's game over, but I have seen teams play a really fair game with a bot on their side, so it's not an impossible ask. And I forgot if I saw a team win with a bot, but I can definitely tell you I've seen some teams take back a couple rounds with a bot in hand, so it's not impossible to ask them to do that,
I've seen a bot with 3 kills in a league match. It's possible. If the bot's lucky and in the right spot, it can barrel shove a gun into someone's face and catch a kill, it can happen. It's rare, but even the bot can be a helpful tool. But it's very much not necessarily a bonus to your team in most cases. And in the case of BrainStormers here, it isn't helping them in map number 2, but or map number 1 at least. 7-2 again into the hands of Ice Cream Truck, but still kills coming in from BrainStormers. 7-9 from Mr. Managa, 7-8 from Dudester, 7-7 from Flighty. A lot of this players connecting and finding kills in that map regardless still. So I don't know, a bit of a fight in the BrainStormers squad, and it makes it a bit more unfortunate that they aren't able to get that 5th in.
It's definitely not going to be an impossible thing for them to get a couple more rounds. I mean, we saw, right, there's a variety of rounds towards the later half of that first game where they actually it was closer. Some of them came down to, I think, literally 1 or 2 players, which that wasn't happening at the beginning. Ice Cream Truck just had really good start, and I think at the beginning, right, they had 4 or 5 players up even, showcasing they had a great start, but BrainStormers, I think maybe they're finally starting to warm up as they're able to knock down a couple players here and there, and it's hey, the fact that they are able to get down to 1 or 2 players with the bot, I think is an accomplishment, and that's what I'm saying. It's not an impossible ask for them to play it all the way through. And I'm hoping they can lean into whatever they were started doing towards the later half of that first game, and maybe they can lock it in, and looks like they're playing Skyscraper, so maybe they can lock it in on Skyscraper, right?
Indeed, Skyscraper is going to be where they're going to put their hopes and dreams, but it's going to be tough when you're starting on offense for round number 2. Ice Cream Truck will be defending on Skyscraper, and I feel like this map really historically lends itself to the defense more so than the offense. It enables that aggressive roaming ability, which we've seen Ice Cream Truck doing well with, and already with the confidence they have, BrainStorm got to be ready for a lot of roaming, I think. Several people in different pockets and different corners could be springing out and trying to catch kills onto this BrainStormer squad. And so, I don't know. We'll have to see what they end up setting up with and how the BrainStormer squad will work through. Again, still down 4v5. They're going to be going into this one out the gate at a bit of a disadvantage, but maybe Simona will swing right into B and catch a double.
Hey, you never know. I mean, they can be running in there. Maybe they'll buy a Taurus just to really make things up for the bot, and get a couple headshots back and forth. Never mind Simona already. But hey, I wasn't betting on them, so I'm not surprised that ended up happening. But I mean, you're right. This is Skyscraper. They're defending. At this point, if Ice Cream Truck can hold it down for the first half, I think they've definitely got this in the pocket, right? And again, this is going to lend itself to them winning, and we've seen them do some crazy good roaming play. This is definitely the map to be doing the same exact sort of gameplay they did on Factory, right? When they were defending for Ice Cream Truck's team.
Got a little bit of a stair setup coming through here from Dudester and Flighty, but they're getting pushed. Look at how this Ice Cream Truck team is surrounding where they know 2 offensive players are coming in from, and maybe it's a little bit over-aggressive as both Paladin and Dr. Turd and Works now find themselves a bit out into a fight outside the windows, but they connect with kills. Turt flies out to try and catch Salem. The pings come in. Works may try their hand next, and Salem's saying, come on, let's do some duck hunt simulator. Fly out at me more. There's another. Paladin comes barreling out, and it'll be the final kill that Ice need. And they got to get back inside soon, and they are able to get through the bottom floor as Ice Cream Truck with 2 left alive take an early lead.
I was talking about confidence earlier, and I'm thinking they might be leaning a little too much into it. Like, hey, I know they're down a bot. I know they're attacking, but you still got to play out the game, right? Because while they definitely have the advantage by a large margin, you never know what's going to happen. Some players can clutch it up, and you don't want to give BrainStormers a couple extra rounds, because the thing is, the more rounds you give them on the attacking half of them, they have more of those going into their second half when they're defending, and you don't want that. On Skyscraper, I think it's kind of to me, I think it's a trump card map. I've seen a lot of teams tend to use Skyscraper as kind of like this weird equalizing map if they've noticed they can't do too well against a certain team on like Factory or Hideout for whatever reason. I think the map just lends itself to very interesting gameplay, and not all teams are always the most well equipped for a game for a map like Skyscraper, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the overconfidence, you got to be careful with that, right? If they play too much into it, they might give out a couple rounds to BrainStormers, which might cost them in the end.
RCP coming in from the bot. Again, another disadvantage is that you can't coordinate your economic purchases with an AI.
It would be nice, but I think someone asked that as a feature. They can pick up the gadgets or the guns off the bot, and I'm like, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
A site swing coming in from Salem as they'll breach into the second story floor and find very little resistance here because this team is roaming so much. If you can find direct entry points into an objective, I think it's one of the ways to kind of succeed against the roam. If this team were to just barrel into this A site full force, all 5 alive, not challenge Dr. Turd or YMQI here at the stairs, they'd have probably a much better success pushing the objective, but it's hard to do that and be that confident, especially when a team like Ice Cream Truck has really been surrounding you pretty consistently. So I don't blame BrainStormers for having a hard time with it, as Dr. Turt is here to find one on the short corner. Flighty says no thanks. Salem says let me try and goes down, and now it is the duo outside of A patiently trying to make something happen, but Nobro finds a double and Ice Cream Truck are up 2-0. This is the team that's going to be barreling towards a much higher rank. So it seems as they debut here with their third game in the VRML. Ice Cream Truck really looking good here. They have a clean understanding of the game itself, and even with a sub on their squad, Nobro coming in there, I don't believe on the active roster. Let me check.
I think they are.
Are they?
I think a double
okay,
check.
they just don't have the same.
I believe they are. Yeah, they just have a different clan tag.
Okay. Throws me off sometimes, but some players will do that. And so, yeah, I mean, this ice cream truck squad is again definitely looking like a team that
yeah,
I think could compete probably in that gold diamond region. You know, they definitely have the ability to battle up against squads that have plays and strategies developed. And not to say that BrainStormers don't, but when you have a sub and a bot on your team, how much can you truly coordinate or have coordinated?
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely the reality of the situation. And so in comes the BrainStormers team for round 3 to try and make some magic happen on this offensive set, and YMQI is already here and practically waiting for them to pop out the stairs.
Yeah, Dr. Turd already getting a couple shots in, knocking Salem out, and at this point, I think Mr. Minago might be going in for a reset or checking out a different corner, but it looks like, again, the Ice players are playing very aggressive, and I think they're leaning a little too much into it because they overplayed their hand there and accidentally got them knocked out. I mean, Mr. Minago barely surviving 2 health in the hand, but they got the syringe on him, so they are fine. It looks like at this point, I think BrainStormers might be playing into the hand of, hey, we know they're playing aggressive. Let's try to get a couple picks off before we actually attack site. And, I mean, it could work.
They tried one set of stairs. They'll try another now as Dr. Turt has rotated to defend against that as well. And if Flighty's not careful, they'll find themselves a challenge. Simona will try and barrel through, but Dr. Turt ready and waiting. Mr. Meningo will finally catch the kill, and it's 2v3. Not an impossible comeback here for BrainStormers, and again, that over-aggression really could have hurt them because EMP is into the hands of Mr. Minaga. They scooped that up so they can rotate around and plant wherever they want, and there's only 2 on site, and they're both on B, so if someone were to sneak in through A site, there definitely could be an EMP going down right now, but they got a bit of utility and ultimately one roamer preventing Dudester and Mr. Minaga from being safe on exiting these stairs.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, they're playing safe, right? I wouldn't even consider going in for a save round, trying to go in for that next upcoming round. I mean, we've seen them kind of not have successful pushes against Ice Cream Truck, and it might be, you know, worth waiting out to see if they can push with not full force, but more force in the upcoming round. But hey, it looks like they might be playing it out as they're kind of still checking their corners. And the way they're leaning, I'm guessing they might go for an A push, because that seems the most likely here. But I mean, at this point, Ice Cream Truck, they don't have to do much. They got 50 seconds left. They got 3 players still up, 1 roaming, I think, checking around the corners. It's really them just saying, hey, BrainStormers, you decide what you want to do at this point. But I think we're good here, right?
Nobro catches Dudester, trying to peek the long hallway down towards B, and now it's Mr. Minaga alone, sees the shots. The angle there onto Paladin, but only connects a couple of bullets, and Paladin will quickly heal that damage up. The static emitter's down and preventing an initial push through, and that means that the rest of the offense / defense can push in. I say offense because they're attacking this offense right now on defense, and it really is a impressive performance from Ice Cream Truck, up 3-0. And now, as we take a quick look at the scoreboard, you can see the KDs coming through, and Dr. Turt and Nobro, the two kill leaders of the team this afternoon. They did so in map 1 as well, and so this could be a, like you said, 2-map series and done. And we might go on a little bit of ice here, quite frankly, Martini. It'll be about an hour and a half until we get into our next bit of action. That game, again, starting at 6:30 p.m. PST. Right now it's 4:45 p.m. PST, so we've got ourselves a bit of time before we get, almost 2 hours, really, before that game starts. But definitely one to look forward to. That's Periphery versus Infinity. Top-tier matchup. I believe Diamond versus Master?
Master, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think those teams are basically fighting for top 10 placement at this
Yep.
point. So that's why I think that game's gonna be such a good game. It's those
Yep.
teams fighting, because I think Infinity's had some mixed results this season for their master tier placements, and Perfi's had a really good season. So I think at this point, Perfi's trying to showcase, hey, we can play amongst the master tier players, right? But anyways, that's a different game, and it looks like we're already getting a good start here as 3 players down on BrainStormers. And it's looking rough once more. I mean, what else can we say, right? We've seen things happening back to back, and I'm really hoping for some crazy clutch up coming from BrainStormers. But it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen as Nobro tries to get the EMP there. I don't know. What do you think's gonna be happening here?
Flighty looking up to the heavens with a bit of a sigh at this point. And hey, it's not every game is an easy game, and especially if you want to compete and try and climb the ladder of the VRML. There's some great teams all across the board, truly. I mean, you go to the silver and gold ranking area, you get some pretty good fights. You get teams that understand the meta and that are playing together as a squad. But the skill cap of this game is pretty high, and so we do have that ramp, from silver to gold to diamond to master, and you get up to those top tier teams, and there's stuff that we don't even talk about that goes so underrated. Just their ability to shoot, their ability to hit shots, their ability to throw nades, their accuracy with all of the tools that they deploy. It's something that we'll definitely try and draw some attention to, and Flighty finding some accuracy with their utility toy here as they catch 1, make it 2. There's that over-aggression from Ice Cream Truck, and what's Flighty going to do now with a couple of kills in the pocket and Ice Cream Truck? Ooh, yeah, there's a rifle into their hands.
Yeah, definitely not an impossible round. I mean, they're overplaying their hand here, and they get another pick off from Flighty, but they still have another 2 players to fight their way through.
Health syringe in hand, rifle in hand, doesn't matter. Dr. Turt shuts it down, and Ice Cream Truck don't necessarily hurt too much from getting over-aggressive on that round. As we get into round 5, they've won 4 in a row, so their economy is secure, and they definitely have the ability to buy completely back into this round. On the other side, BrainStormers is still hurting off of 4 round losses in a row, and not looking good here on their economy for round 5. They won't really be able to full buy until round 6, and they won't have that full buy because the bot Simona probably won't full buy in round 6. And so they're just that coordination again impacted here, and a lesson learned. Lots of chances to learn and grow as a team here for the BrainStormers squad. You can figure out what you were finding success with. Because they did have a couple of rounds where they've gotten a couple of kills. They did win those first 2 rounds. Kind of figure out what led to success there and try and replicate that because, or I guess try and learn from your opponent too. I mean, Ice Cream Truck really have been on point and quite a successful, aggressive team. There's 2 kills from YMQI, but if they'll go down to a long-range RCP shot from Mr. Minalga all the way up from the roof, they'll quickly get punished for lingering too long as Nobro finds that kill, and we're down to 2 left for the BrainStormers squad.
Yeah, my heart just breaks at this point for BrainStormers. They're getting picked outside of the map.
Yeah.
They're not even attacking site yet, or not even attacking site. I'm not even worried about that anymore. They're not even actually pushing into the actual map between defending and attacking, and they're just getting picked off, and it's just unfortunate. Maybe just a massive skill difference. I'm kind of curious to see how Ice Cream Truck's gonna play in their upcoming match. I mean,
Yeah.
if they place what 7-0 with a 7-2, that's gonna jump them up a fair amount. Anyway, shots out from Dudester, knocking down Nobro, giving finally a good kill. Brainstormers.
Using that Viper, no less. Not an easy tool to utilize effectively, but they catch that long hallway kill. Paladin's still here on the short corner, and that fight will unfold just a touch as Paladin and Dudester crouch and poke and prod at each other down this hallway. It's a 2v3, and again, something that maybe Brainstormers can make happen as Flighty catches Dr. Turt trying to flank, and now it's a 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier, the over-aggression, and I want to complain about it, I want to talk about it, but I will say Ice Cream Truck, even with the over-aggression, they've still played well, right? We haven't seen Brainstormers even take one round in his current map, so I get the over-aggression, I get playing it, but you still got to play like it's a league match, because I get it, they're doing pretty good at this, at their placement right now in the ladder, but what happens when they start moving up, right? Because this map is going to move them up. Anyway, Flighty comes out swinging on Paladin, as now comes down to works. But not impossible between his two players.
Full health on both sides. Works with a bit more power with a Vezin in hand, and Dudester with the Viper. A low-tier SMG, dare I say. But hey, they found several kills so far, so how low-tier is it really? I don't know. But can they find the final one they need? They know where Works is. Dudester is going to push in with 39 seconds left, and these footsteps don't get heard. And the Dudester in the short quarters combat will succeed with that Viper. They'll pick up a rifle, and Brainstormers finally get around on the board deep into the series. And again, that over-aggression, maybe it was over-aggression or not, but regardless, Brainstormers finally find the kills they need, and there's a rifle in hand. It's a full buy here for round 6. This could be 4-2, and frankly, that's a pretty big foot in the door on a map like this. They could then bounce back with some clean defensive rounds.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Ice's side, I'm actually kind of shocked that they don't have much money. Maybe they've been like throwing a lot of money per round at the gadgets. I thought they would have like, I mean, 4 rounds back to back. Wouldn't they have a lot more money in hand? I don't know. But anyways, Brainstormers finally punishing, I think, Ice Cream Truck for playing a little too aggressive. And I will say, Ice Cream Truck, I mean, they're at a good spot. Their team, I think, still probably needs to be knocked up a little bit more on the ladder. But other teams, once they get into, teams within their skill rank, they'll probably be punished a little bit more for playing a little bit over aggressive. So I'm curious to see how Ice Cream Truck actually plays in their 4th or even 5th game, right? As they kind of get more towards their actual rank and playing against some little bit tougher teams, right?
Yeah, indeed. Nobro will find one, and it looks like they may have some connection issues there as another bot is in play for Brainstormers, so that's going to hurt them a little bit more. But how much is to be determined. Again, they've got rifles in hand. Well, for at least 2 of them. And I'll go there with that RCP, and now a 3v5. Quickly, this ICE team has focused up, so it seems, and Dr. Turt now trying to catch an early kill here, preventing Brainstormers from even working down the stairs.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out how to get this frag angle, and we'll see if it does work out. Unfortunately, it does play a little too much to the left, and I think Turt is just holding that corner, right? We've seen Turt play some really good angles and get a variety of kills in this map, and I mean, that's a lot of the players that like Nobro, Dr. Turt, they've been knocking down Brainstormer players left and right, and bots too, right?
Yes, indeed. As Dr. Turt tries to find the kill here on the stairs and cannot. Mr. Minalga will connect, finds a rifle down in front of them, and if they can get up there and grab it, could be in good shape. But that's not going to be an easy task with both Nobro and YMQI on the case. Nobro might see the elbow and does. Sees the head of Mr. Minalga and will catch that kill. Flighty will catch YMQI on the backside. Should be an indicator for Nobro to worry about the flank, and now it's a 2v3.
Yeah, I'm surprised things are actually kind of working out. A 3-2 is a lot closer, considering there's never mind. Flighty gets knocked down there from Nobro. All comes down to 1. I mean, considering that this round started out with 2 bots. I'm actually more than impressed by how
Yep.
BrainStormers actually came out of this with a 1-3, right? They should have had a way more of a difference than this, but things did sort of work out with them. They had some interesting mix of plays, playing some flanks, and never mind works, knocks down Salem to finish off that round for Ice Cream Truck, giving them 1 more round in the pocket. But I mean, at this point, what, they got 2 more rounds? This is probably Ice Cream Truck in 2, right?
It certainly looks that way. We swap sides, reset economy, and Brainstormers, yeah, down to 3. Definitely are not going to have a tough time with how well Ice Cream Truck is playing, how coordinated they are. I expect them to really give a full court press here pretty quickly up against this team, but also maybe they won't be over aggressive too early in these pistol rounds when ultimately it is pretty equal. The bots can find success in these early rounds more so than they can in the later ones, and so you got to be a little bit cautious when you do try and barrel your way in through a 5-player hatch drop. But it could be something that works for a team like Ice Cream Truck.
I mean, well, I don't know what to say about these teams. It's just like
Yeah.
Ice Cream Truck, they've had, I think, pretty good attacks, right? We saw pretty solid attacks from them on factory, even with when they had the weird numbers disadvantage, and probably going to be more so when we see them with the 5-4 attack here. But again, I mean, Simona is going to be defending now, hopefully playing a little bit better angles for the bot, and I'm hoping maybe this might knock down a couple more lives to potentially get Brainstorm maybe 1 or 2 rounds in the second half. But if I were betting man, I don't know I would bet on that
No.
just to play it safe, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a push here on A site. Flighty catches one. Simona goes down to no, bro, and it's a 4v4. Salem's here to defend, and Salem's here to die. Headshots connecting by no, bro. They got Mr. Monalgo watching down at the long angle, but doesn't have a full coverage of A site, and so should be an easy entry for someone like no, bro. They go a little too far before planting, and now the plant comes in from Paladin when it's a 3v2, make it a 3v1. Kills coming in across the board, and now just a bot to try and make the hero play happen for the Brainstormers squad. Not likely, as YMQI does push up, finds the kill, and Ice Cream Truck are a round away from locking in the series. A reminder to everyone tuning in here that, again, we have another game that'll be live in about an hour and a half from now. That starts at 6:30 p.m. at PST. Some top-tier teams battling it out right here on YouTube. You can see the event on the channel if you subscribe, and it'll be live again in an hour and a half from now. So if you do want to tune back in for some Friday night fight action, that'll be some top-tier teams battling it out, and so definitely something to look forward to. We've got some great games, to be honest, throughout the course of this weekend, too. Sunday has a couple stacked up that I don't know that we'll be able to cover everything, but there's some good games Sunday for sure, and we're happy to see the connoisseur votes coming in, people voting on games they want to see. We're happy to deliver on casting games that people want to see, and again, I think tonight's definitely going to be one that everyone's going to want to see. You're going to want to tune into that one. That'll be some top-tier teams, again, battling it out for that 8th place position, which really is, even more sought after these days, Martini, because you get that 8th place at the end of the season, and you qualify in for that exclusive VRML gun skin.
I know, they get some really exciting things, and who doesn't want to be a master tier team? Never mind, no, bro, knocking down Salem as they do start their entrance from Ice Cream Truck's team. And that, I mean, what else to say? I mean,
Yeah.
A is wide open now. B is gonna eventually be picked off, and it's just looking rough already from Brainstormers, even on the attack. Sorry, defending.
Down go 2 on site for B, and in comes the plant. Ice Cream Truck looking to wrap this one up as Flighty's alone on the roam, and we'll have to retake in a 1v4. Not going to be an easy task with a pistol in hand up against a fully equipped offense from Ice Cream Truck. 3 Vezins off of their round 7 win. That's definitely all the kills connecting and being spread there. I think if we go to that scoreboard, we'd see a pretty decent kill spread coming through from these teams, but or from these players on Ice Cream Truck. But yeah, it is up to Flighty again in the 1v4 retake, and they've got several already here tucked in. Dr. Turt in particular will spring their trap, catch the kill, and it will be round 7 into the round 8 technically into the hands of Ice Cream Truck. Map 2 going their way, and a clean sweep for a new team into the league. Ice Cream Truck locking in their 3rd game so far. They're definitely going to be a squad that we'll keep an eye on, as they're technically undefeated, going up 2-0-1 with a tie just yesterday. And yeah, very interested to see what they can do in the back half of this season, because we do got plenty of weeks left. We're only into week 7. There's 13 weeks and a postseason. There's a lot of breachers left ahead of us. There's a lot of breachers left today. Again, another match in an hour and a half from now, so do be sure to stop back in for that game later tonight. But I think we pretty much talked as much as we can about these teams this afternoon, Martini, so it's time for us to sign off. A quick shout out to our sponsors. We talked a bit about them, but in full, they are HyperX. You can get a discount by using code HXVRML23 at checkout. ProTube VR, you can use code ILOVEVRML at checkout for a discount there. Helga, the esports manager, as we talked about, your first month off free if you join the Discord. And of course, Triangle Factory, providing us with cash money into that prize pool, but also a in-game gun skin you can buy and an in-game gun skin you can earn. More details about that coming in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled on announcements channels. The prize pool positioned to grow, but already at $8,600 in cash and hardware, and we're going to see teams that are ultimately competing for that chance to compete for the prize pool later tonight, so do be sure to tune back in. My name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Martini. Until next time, stay classy. Breachers VRML is brought to you by Triangle Factory, HyperX, ProTube VR,